Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl DJ Dirty Yellow, and I'm back with another video. I'm back. If you're new here, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave me a comment down below. Tell me how's your day going, how are you doing. Let your girl know. Talk to me. Anyways, this is episode 2 of my entrepreneur series, and in this episode I'm going to be talking to you guys about how I got my LLC, where you can get your LLC, and the mistakes that I made. I made some mistakes, y'all. So if you're interested, keep on watching. So the first thing that I did before I decided to start my business, I did a little bit of research on YouTube. I watched YouTube videos on LLC. I didn't get much information on them, so I just picked a little bit here, a little bit there, and try to put 2 and 2 together. So some videos were saying you don't need one to start your business. Some said you do. Some people saying don't, some people were saying that you shouldn't get one just in case if your business is not successful how you expect it to be. You don't want to put that money in and then you don't get that stuff back. So I did a little bit of my own research, and I'm just like, just going back and forth. I was already buying my lashes and business cards and thank you cards. I was already doing all that. So I knew that I wanted the money that I was making from my business. I didn't want that to go into my personal account. I want that to go into a separate account. So I called up my bank and I asked them what were the requirements that I needed, like what did I need to have a business bank account. So I talked to the lady on the phone, and she was telling me, and I wrote down on my notes what it was. She said that I needed, obviously you need your ID. You need your the files of organization, which is basically your LLC. You need to have an operating agreement certificate. You need to have your assumed name and your regular name, your address, taxpayer ID, and your EIN number. You needed all that information before you can get a business bank account. So, and that for me right there was when I knew that I should just get my LLC. Because I knew I did not want my money to go into my personal account. I wanted to have that separate from my own income. Well, from my job. I searched on Google. I typed in the state that I'm in plus LLC. So LLC varies from state to state, the requirements and all that. So you type in your state plus LLC. So for me, for instance, I typed in New York State LLC. I'll show you right here. And then the first things that pop up are like those services like LegalZoom, Zen Business, and there's some other ones out there. And I checked those out first to see if that's what I wanted to do. Clicked on LegalZoom first, and then I proceeded like as I was going to file for my LLC through them. And I got to like the checkout point, and I seen the price. They were asking me for like $900 and something. And then not only that, it was just that throughout the process, they always like every time you hit next, they always pop up with like, oh, you should add this service, you should add that service. Oh, it's $25 more for this, $100 for this, or $250 this. It was just way too many fees and hidden fees that they were trying to add on and sneak on, and I was just not feeling none of that. I wasn't feeling none of that, so I was not going that route. I decided to do my little research on these services. Some people had bad things to say about them. Some people had good things to say about them. And I'm just like, it was like 50-50. I'm not going to risk it. So I went back to the Google search, and I started, I Googled again, New York State LLC, and I started scrolling, and then I found my state's website. Now the page immediately takes you straight to where you can check your name availability, and then you can also file for your LLC online on the website. So I read the requirements that you needed to obtain an LLC. One of the requirements was, of course, you file for it and you have to pay a $200 fee. So that's the first thing that I did. I filed. It was a really quick process. It did not take long at all. Maybe like 5-10 minutes the most. It was not a long process. So after I did, I filed for my LLC, I paid my $200, and then they, like within 10-15 minutes, I got the email saying that I was approved for my LLC. Now the next step that you have to do is you have to have your LLC published in the paper. You have 120 days from the date that you filed your LLC to have your LLC published in the paper. So you have to have it published in 2 papers. One paper has to publish yours daily for 6 weeks, and then the other one weekly for 6 weeks. Now you have to pay the paper their fee, whatever's going to cost them to publish, you know, your LLC on the paper. So once you have your LLC published for the 6 weeks, you get the affidavits and you send that out to the state. So New York State charges you $50 for the publishing part, but you also have to pay the paper their fee. For me, in my county, we only have one major paper, and then we have like 2 papers that are weekly. So you just call around and see which one is best for you. Doing that right there saved me a lot of money from paying lawyers and these legal Zoom businesses and all that other extra stuff. Now, you have your LLC, you have it published, you have that all set to go, blah, 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 but that's not everything that you need. Now, like I said, for the business bank account, you have to have the operating agreement certificate. So basically, another tip I can give you guys, call around law firms that specialize in LLC and stuff like that, and have them basically, like, ask them questions. Like if you know you're gonna do it yourself, ask them questions if you're not sure. Because I wasn't sure, so I was asking a bunch of questions, and they were just, as they were answering the questions, I was writing them down. Like, oh, free legal advice. That's what I was doing. Free legal advice. I did not want to pay no lawyer to like do this for me, because one lawyer tried to charge me. He tried to charge me $2,000, and I'm like, $2,000 for the LLC, and I'm just like, I get it. You know, you're paying $2,000. It honestly saves you the headache to have somebody else do it for you, someone who knows what they're doing. But me, I'm a broke bitch, and I ain't rich, and I got 3 kids. I am a single mom. I cannot just dish you out $2,000 to do this for me. There has to be another way. So that's why it's important to do the research, go on your state's website, read the requirements. You will save a ton of money doing it yourself, okay? So going back to the operating agreement situation, I had to get an operating agreement certificate or whatever, and that's basically, it's a key document used by limited liability companies to outline business, financial, and functional decisions, including rules, regulations, and provisions, okay? So it's not required in every state to have one, but it is recommended to have one. Now, you can use the legal Zoom service if you want to do that. They charge you like $100 to do it for you, or you can get a free template online. There's a lot of free templates that you can use, and you can tweak it however you want to. You just put in your information as it goes. You know, you can do it that way. So, yeah, so it's not required in every state to have one, but it is recommended, especially if you're in like a partnership. You know, if there's a disagreement down the line, you have the, you know, you got your operating agreement, and, you know, everything's down on there. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm the only member, so therefore there won't be anybody else in the whole shebang. But I still have to have one for a business bank account. So just check with your bank or whatever it is that you want to do to see if that's a requirement for you to obtain a bank account. It is for me, so I had to go ahead and do that. Got me a free template, filled it out how I wanted to fill it out, and that's that. You know what I'm saying? That's that. So yeah, and then your EIN number, you can go the same webpage. You can just go ahead and Google your state EIN number, how to obtain it. It should basically take you to like the IRS website. I think that's like a federal thing. And it's just your employee identification number, your employer identification number. And you basically apply. It's very quick, very simple. and you get it right then and there. So yeah, so I'm gonna go into the mistakes that I've made as far as like the whole LLC situation, because Lord, this is important. Okay, this is important. You need to pay attention to this part. If you stayed this long, thank you, but pay attention to this part. Okay, now, it ain't just about you got your business name and you gonna just get your LLC. You know, every video something happens. We just pretend like you ain't see that. Pretend like you ain't see that. All right, but pay attention to this part, because this part is important. Okay, this part is important. This is the mistake that I've made. Now, before I filed for my LLC, I went ahead and I already decided on my business name. I already made the Instagram page. I made the Facebook page. I already paid for the business cards to be made. I paid for the thank you cards to be made. And I paid for the website already. I paid for the domain for my business name that I wanted. You guys, don't do that. Don't do that. And this is why I suggest to get an LLC, because this is the reason why. I'm telling you right now. Don't act like I ain't tell you. This might not be a big thing to some people, but this was a big thing to me, because you're going to end up spending a little bit of extra coins, and you don't want to keep spending a little bit of extra coins. We don't got time for that. I made all that already, right? So when I went to apply for my LLC, I used my business name to try to file for my LLC, right? It will tell you that before you do all that, it'll tell you that your business name is available. It's the name's available, blah, blah, blah. But when you actually go into the application to file for it and you type it in, so I typed in Nani's Beauty. That's what I wanted my LLC to be, Nani's Beauty. I immediately got the red little star restriction, and it tells you why I could not use Nani's Beauty as an LLC name. It was restricted. The word beauty is restricted in New York State. Like, wow, this is crazy. Like, I'm not even, I put so much money into this, and I can't use the word beauty. Guys, so I did a little bit more research, and then that's when I found out about the DBAs. Now, DBAs, it doesn't cost that much money to get a DBA. Well, for New York State, DBA stands for doing business as. So basically, you can get the application from the same state. You can get the application from the state website, and you print it out. And basically, you put in what's your LLC name already and what the assumed name that you want to do business as, basically. So I put in Nani's Beauty, and then you have to pay the application. The application is free, but you have to pay a $25 fee for every county that you'll be doing business in. So I'm only in one county, so I only had to pay $25 plus $10 to get a certified copy of the assumed name, because I would need a copy for my business bank account. Now, if the price might vary, if like I'm only online, so the price may vary. Like if you're an actual storefront, say like you have 2 stores, you have one store in this county, you have another store in that county, you have to pay the fee for each county or whatever. So I'm only in one spot. So yeah, so it's very important that you make sure that your name is available. Make sure, go on, search about your state's restrictions for LLCs, like the words, like see what words are restricted in your state for filing an LLC. So I just filed my LLC in my name, and then I'm doing business as Nani's Beauty. Now, being that that's that, I had to go ahead and trademark my logo and my name and all that other stuff, because I did not want anyone to take that from me. So yeah, so I started all the trademark processing stuff, and I'm doing that with a lawyer, because after all this thing that I dealt with, I just did not want to do it. You're smarter than me, basically, and you do that part first. And that's why I feel like it's important to just go ahead and get your LLC, whether you feel like your business is going to boom or not. Just get that out the way, because you never know what's going to happen in the future. I feel like you shouldn't speak negative about anything. Like, don't say things in the air like that. Like, I'm not going to be successful, or what if this, what if that. No, you need to like speak it into existence. Like, I'm going to be successful. My business is going to be successful. It might not happen overnight. It might not happen in a couple months. It could take a year. Don't compare yourself to somebody else's success and how their business is doing from the jump. Your journey is different from everybody else's. So I suggest go ahead and go get your LLC, girl. Go ahead and get it out the way, and then go on ahead and start doing the whole, just get the LLC before you decide to like make your business cards and all the, you know, your pages and all that stuff, because you never know. You never know. You can save a couple coins by doing it that way, if that makes sense. Another thing that I wanted to add about the whole LLC shebang is that there might be some type of a hidden fee somewhere. I don't think I remember this being on the website. I wasn't sure. Maybe I skipped through it. I don't know if I missed it or whatnot. But I got a letter in the mail from the state. And they said, I'm going to read it to you guys. It says, congratulations on registering your business with the state of New York. Your articles have been filed with the Secretary of State and are complete. You have one step left in order to attain your elective New York Certificate of Status. Below is a form for your newly registered business. Please confirm the accuracy of the information below for your New York Certificate of Status request. So yeah, so I guess I have to pay a fee of $87.25 to get the New York State Certificate of Status, basically. And I needed that for the business bank account. So yeah, pay attention. Make sure you have a little bit extra coin somewhere, because you never know if they might hit you with something. So that's it for today's video. You guys, let me know if it was helpful. I know I can be all over the place sometimes and whatnot, but if it was helpful, leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to this video, well, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next episode.